In this battle, we are taking on a user by the name of Master Nuffin, and today he demonstrated to me just how overpowered the Primals can be, especially together, conjoined. And he also has this Mega Medicham, and all of his Pokemon are PvP trained, and I know that for a fact after fighting this guy. And I mean, I'm gonna say I really felt the heat in this battle. So, anyways, one thing I noted down was that Alakazam was gonna be my key Pokemon here because I mean it's basically threatening to everything on his team except that Primal Kyogre. So, anyways, I decided to leave with my Sizers. I was thinking, well, I mean this would be a pretty good matchup. And I mean initially I did not know that this guy PvP trained his Pokemon because typically you would expect to be able to live a high jump kick. So I was thinking about Bullet Punch, but I was like, I may as well just go for the U-turn in case he switches. So anyways, this guy goes for the Mega Evolution right here. And I mean, like I said, Mega Medicham is one of the best Megas you can use, in my opinion at least, because it's just the sheer firepower. Now, of course, you can play around it, but I mean, if you use it effectively, it is mad scary. So anyways, his high jump kick off the line instantly one-shots my Sizer. Now, truth be told, that's not really a surprise because I mean I've one-shotted plenty of Pokemon before with my own Medicham. So I mean I should have known, but at the same time, I mean I did not know that this guy was gonna have his Pokemon fully PvP trained. That kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt because typically when you see people using the Primals, they don't PvP train their Pokemon. I mean they just purely rely on the power output of the Primals to bring them success. Now, this guy did actually have a really high rank. I think it was around 800 when I battled him. So I probably should have noted because typically people who use Primals but don't really have much skill or PvP training won't get too far in the ladder. But this guy, I mean, he did. So I probably should have been more cautious about it. And I probably should have just gone for the Bullet Punch because that probably would have done some really big damage. So anyways, I know that this guy's going to switch out, which is why I didn't go for the Psychic. And also, I mean, Psychic or Shadow Ball is going to be super effective anyways. So, I mean, that turned out to be good because he went right into Dragapult. So, because I went for Shadow Ball, I got the hard KO right there. And, you know, that was that. So, anyways, next he brought in his Primal Groudon. And this was an issue because I know for sure I can't one-shot this guy. Because Primal Groudon, it does not have the best special defense. I'm pretty sure it's at base 90. Although it still has a lot of HP. So it's going to be able to take your hits pretty good. And I know for sure that any attack from this guy is going to be enough to one-shot my Alakazam, which is why I don't want to stay in and find out what's going to happen, especially because Alakazam is going to be so key in this battle. So anyways, I go into Mandibuzz because, I mean, obviously, he's going to go for his Precipice Blades because, I mean, that's just the most powerful and consistent moves. That's what most people using Primal Groudon are typically going to do. So anyways though, I go for a foul play, he goes for an eruption. I was not expecting him to do that much damage, but that right there is just crazy, especially considering just how tanky Mandibuzz is. I mean, I was able to withstand a +6 Sacred Sword from an Aegislash better than I did against this eruption from the Primal Groudon. That's just a testament to how strong Primal Groudon is. And my foul play didn't do anything bad to him. Using his own attack stat, like that must be 180 base attack. I think this might have like 150 or 160 base defenses. So that just shows just how much of an unkillable wall this Groudon is. So anyways, I know that it's not worth switching out because nothing wants to really come into this. I mean, even Heatran, it has Flash Fire, so it can come in on Eruption, but then it's gonna die to Precipice Blades instantly. So I mean, you know, I really couldn't do much there. So I decided to just sacrifice my Mandibuzz. And now I was thinking, well, I need to get rid of this Groudon. And I mean, it was tempting to go into Alakazam, but just seeing how well this guy took the foul play, I didn't think it was worth it because this guy probably has some sort of investment into his defenses here. So it's not going to be a great idea. So I mean, I was looking at Moltank because Moltank here is really bulky. I mean, I have this as like a defensive wall almost. I mean, it's not the perfect definitive wall, but I mean it's still relatively good, especially because it has base 100 speed, so it should be able to outspeed most Pokemon. Although the issue here is that I can't actually paralyze this guy because he's part ground type. I mean, you can't paralyze him to like body slam, but you can't directly paralyze him with T-Wave. So I mean, that was an issue, and I know for sure that this guy is going to absolutely wall the body slam. No one's surprised he absolutely does wall that body slam. So right here, I'm actually kind of lucky because he misses his Precipice Blades, and I guess that's the main downside of the move. It doesn't have perfect accuracy, despite, I mean, having such high base power. So anyways, here, I follow up with another body slam because there's nothing else I can do. He goes for the Precipice Blades, and actually, surprisingly, Multank is able to wall that hit really good. I mean, considering that this guy has 100 base attack, I mean, I'm pretty impressed right here. Even though we can't really do that much damage back, I mean, at least we brought this Groudon low enough to now where Alakazam could come in and finish him off with like a Psychic or a Shadow Ball or really anything. So anyways, here he does end up switching out. I mean, in my opinion, I probably would have just stayed in and kept attacking, but you know, that's fine. So he goes with the Swampert, which is not an issue because we do have a Amoonguss here, and Amoonguss basically comes in for free. Like, even if he has Ice Punch, it doesn't really matter. So I don't think his Ice Punch would do enough damage to where I'd actually have to be concerned. So I'm going right into Amoonguss here, especially because, I mean, getting Amoonguss in can be really good with Spore. And I do like Amoonguss's like offensive presence because, I mean, the best counter to Spore is bringing your own Grass type, and typically other grass types don't want to come in on Amoonguss because of its Part Poison typing, which does super effective damage. So you have to be careful. Now a lot of the grass types do also have the Part Poison typing, so it kind of evens out. But you know, that is something I like about it. So anyways, right here, of course, I'm gonna go for the Spore because I know this guy doesn't have any grass types to switch into to absorb that. So it's basically free sleep, and sleep is basically the best status condition you can get in this game other than like freeze. So anyways, I go into Alakazam now because I do want to bring it in as many times as I can, especially because this guy's team is kind of weak to it, and he has to send out sacrifices in order to respond to it because, I mean, he doesn't really have like a special wall. So we are able to trace his ability, which is Steadfast. It doesn't really matter. It's like, I mean, Alakazam already has enough speed as it is to outspeed the rest of this guy's Pokemon. So anyways, here I went for a Psychic. Now in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have just gone for a Focus Blast, although, I mean, I was kind of thinking if he switched out, Psychic would be a better move, and Focus Blast also has a chance of missing. So I mean, I just want to get damage right here and right now. And anyways, the good thing is he does stay asleep for another turn, so I mean, we are able to finish him off here with the Psychic, and that's Lucario gone. So now he brings out his Groudon. In my opinion, not the best move. I would have just gone right into Kyogre because this right here is going to die to Psychic. There's no way he's living. So that's Groudon out of the way right there, and that's a good thing because that is one of the hardest Pokemon to take down, especially because, like I said, it's only weak to ground types, and most ground types are physical attackers, and most of those physical attackers aren't going to be able to do enough damage to Groudon because of its high base physical defense. And you know, Groudon hits back like a truck. So anyways, here I decided to go into Amoonguss once again because, you know, it's Swampert, and that's basically a free switch in. And he goes right for an Earthquake right here, which once again is not a problem because I can just switch out and I can regenerate all that HP back. So of course, you know me, I'm going right for the Spore. There is no point going for Giga Drain. And he goes out for his Medicham here. And that's actually great, getting this guy asleep, because I mean, now that he's asleep, he can't be too scary. Although, I mean, it was tempted to stay in and go for some Giga Drains, although, I mean, I need to keep this Amoonguss alive because it can kind of threaten Kyogre to some extent, even though it's not like the best Pokemon because it's still weak to Ice Beam and will get outsped, but you know, it's still good for that. So ideally I want it alive so I can use it to kind of counter it. So here I trace Pure Pulver. I do kind of wish that Pure Pulver doubled both stats because that would make it beneficial to me in this situation, although it doesn't, so you know, it is what it is. But I mean, I think at the same time that probably would be kind of bad because then Medicham would be even more difficult to deal with because it would be hitting just as hard, or not just as hard, but close to as hard, especially as it does physically. So anyways, here he withdraws. I decided to go right for the Shadow Ball, so I'm not trying to make any risks because I know that Medicham can do huge damage to my Alakazam, and the Shadow Ball does pretty good damage. So now I decided to just go for a Psychic right here because I mean, I know that the Psychic is gonna finish off the Swampert. I mean, Swampert really isn't the worst problem because I mean, I can just bring in a Amoonguss and deal with it, but I mean, getting it out of the way is not gonna harm me, so I decided to finish it off. And now I'm afraid to say that the big dog is home, Kyogre himself in primal form. And this right here, I mean, even if I had a full team ready with full HP, I don't think I would be able to deal with this effectively, because I only have 2 Pokemon that can outspeed it, Alakazam and Miltank, both of which are going to get absolutely destroyed and one-shotted by Water Spout, and the rest of my team will get destroyed, and it resists my Bullet Punch too. So I mean, this is a big problem. And I mean, once this was out, I was thinking, well, this is GG. I think I'm going to lose. So anyways, right off the bat, I'm going to go into Amoonguss, because I mean, I know Amoonguss can take his Water Spout the best. And even though it resisted, that is half damage right there, which is absolutely crazy. That is just so scary to see. And anyways, I decided to go for a Spore here, and I kind of pray that he doesn't have Ice Beam, because if he does, I know I'm going down. And unfortunately, he does have his Ice Beam, so that right there is going to finish off my Amoonguss. I mean, there's no way I'm going to survive, even though Amoonguss is a really tanky Pokemon. I mean, Ice Beam for 180 base special attack is going to absolutely destroy it. So Amoonguss faints, and that's too bad. And now I have to figure out what I'm going to do next. So I mean, I decided that Miltank's probably the best play here. Now, Body Slam would be an interesting move, because there is a chance of paralysis, and I will get some pretty decent damage off with it. But instead, I decided to hit him with the T-Wave, because I was thinking, well, T-Wave, if he gets paralyzed a single time, that's going to help me out so much. But unfortunately here, he does not get paralyzed, and the Water Spout is instantly going to eliminate my Miltank. Miltank is not surviving. Like, this is an absolute powerhouse. One of the strongest Pokemon in the metagame. So now I pull out Heatran. The good thing is, because I paralyzed him, I'm going to outspeed him. So I was hoping perhaps I could get, you know, like a special defense or whatever Earth Power does. I would like that, you know, multiplier or something. So unfortunately, none of that happens, and he doesn't get paralyzed. So Water Spout absolutely destroys Heatran. Heatran does not stand a chance right there. And now I'm left with my final trick card, my Ace Mega Alakazam. And at this point in the battle, I was thinking, man, this is GG right here, because what can I actually do against this Kyogre? And typically, most PvP Kyogres are going to run Thunder, Ice Beam, Water Spout, and some sort of water attack in conjunction, because Water Spout is HP reliant. So I pray he goes for a Water Spout here, because I know that my Psychic should bring him low enough to where his Water Spout shouldn't be able to do enough damage to one-shot me. I mean, if he went for like a Surf or a Scald, it would have taken care of my Alakazam. But because he went for Water Spout at yellow HP, we are able to barely survive it. And along with that, I even got the special defense drop, which is so clutch. I mean, I didn't get any paralysis, but that's literally all I needed right there, because we are able to take down the Primal Kyogre. That's actually crazy. And now he goes into his Medcham, but I gotta say, this is going down to a Shadow Ball. So Mega Alakazam absolutely MVP that game. It took out every single Pokemon on this guy's team. And I mean, I gotta say, I'm really impressed with his performance. So that right there is GG, my friends.